It goes without saying that 2019 has been the year of Taylor Swift. She gave us her album Lover, won Artist of the Decade at the AMAs, got around 600,000 signatures on a petition for the Equality Act, starred in the movie Cats, and about a million more things. But this year has just been one of many when it comes to Taylor's accomplishments. Within the last decade alone, she's had 5 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. She's won 10 Grammys, and she was the highest-grossing artist of the decade, bringing in $687.7 million from her U.S. tours alone. But again, that's just this decade. With her 30th birthday being just a couple days ago, we decided what better time to round up 30 of Taylor's biggest accomplishments than now, right here on Listed. And we wanted to try to go in order, starting way back when she started her career. Obviously, the accomplishments get more impressive with time, but the early days were just as important. And forgive me if 1 or 2 of these aren't exactly in chronological order. We tried our best, but we had to bounce around a bit, so don't at me, fellow Swifties. Let's all just celebrate our queen, okay? So join me as we walk down memory lane, starting back in the early 2000s when Taylor was only 13 years old. One of her first major accomplishments was when she signed her first music deal with a major label at such a young age. Around the same time, she was modeling for Abercrombie & Fitch as part of their Rising Stars campaign, and y'all have to see this modeling pic. It is such a throwback, and it is so cute. Talk about teardrops on my guitar vibes, am I right? But obviously, her music career took off a bit more than her modeling one, and I'm very much okay with that. At 17 years old, she won the Country Music Association's Horizon Award for Best New Artist in 2007. And she had some pretty tough competition that year, including people like Jason Aldean, Little Big Town, Kelly Pickler, and Rodney Atkins, who are obviously all big stars now too. But the following year, she had even more success. At 18 years old, Taylor had her first #1 single with Our Song, which is still one of my favorite OG Taylor songs of all time. Our Song helped shoot her to fame, and she was taken seriously by industry professionals and was getting noticed by some of her idols, including Rascal Flatts. At only 19 years old, she opened for them on their 2008 summer and fall tour. She ended up getting that gig mostly for her talent, but also in part because Eric Church, who was their previous opener, played a little longer than his allotted time. And fun fact, Taylor later jokingly sent Eric Church her first gold record with a note that said, quote, "Thanks for playing too long and too loud on the Flats tour. I sincerely appreciate it, Taylor." And we love her sense of humor. Moving on to when she was 20 years old, which was another big year for her. At 20, Billboard named Taylor 2009's Artist of the Year. And we all know what else happened in 2009, but I am leaving Kanye West out of the rest of the script. This will be the first and only time I will be mentioning his name. Please and thank you. That same year, Taylor also appeared on SNL for the first time as both the host and the musical guest. At the time, Entertainment Weekly described her as, quote, "this season's best Saturday Night Live host so far," and said, quote, "she was always up for the challenge, seemed to be having fun, and helped the rest of the cast nail their punchlines."
Burn it! You want some blanket?
I'm okay.
Burn it!
I get a laugh out of that sketch every time. Also that same year, her concert tickets for her LA Fearless tour sold out in 2 minutes. But it wasn't just a big year for music. She also filmed her movie debut with her role in Valentine's Day, which came out the following year. And Valentine's Day is a very underrated movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest checking it out while you're on holiday break or something. Then, at only 20 years old, her album Fearless won Album of the Year at the Grammys, making her the youngest artist to win Album of the Year.
Taylor Swift, Nathan Chapman, and Taylor Swift.
Featured artist, Colby Calais.
She still actually holds that title as the youngest to win Album of the Year, but Billie Eilish, who will be 18 at the 2020 Grammys, is currently up to dethrone her with her album When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but either way, Taylor has held the title for at least 10 years, and that's no small feat. And 2010 was a big year for Tay. It was the year of Speak Now, my personal favorite album of hers. She wrote Speak Now alone and co-produced every track. I mean, hello, we stand a queen. But Taylor's accomplishments weren't just musical. She's been giving back in a big way ever since she could. In 2011, Taylor used a dress rehearsal of her Speak Now tour as a benefit concert for victims of recent tornadoes in the United States, raising more than $750,000. Now, if that's not an accomplishment to be proud of, I don't know what is. And not only is she in the Country Music Hall of Fame, but in 2012, she pledged $4 million to fund the building of a new education center called Taylor Swift Education Center. And I'm just trying to figure out how to sign up for a degree. I would love to be a graduate of the Taylor Swift Education Center. Goals. And also Also that same year, Taylor was named the #1 highest paid celebrity under 30 by Forbes magazine. Because she's a boss and has been for a long time. And it doesn't go unnoticed even by Taylor's idols. In 2012, Taylor also received an award for her humanitarian endeavors by none other than Michelle Obama. The former FLOTUS described Taylor as a singer who, quote, has rocketed to the top of the music industry but still keeping her feet on the ground. She's someone who has shattered every expectation of what a 22-year-old can accomplish. And I don't know about you, but that quote most certainly has me feeling 22. The following year was the year of Red. Though she initially released the album in the end of 2012, it really got us through 2013. And in 2013, Taylor was recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records for Red's accomplishments. Red's release marked the highest opening sales in a decade in the United States and made Taylor the first female to have 2 million selling album openings, which was put in the Guinness Book of World Records. And we love a world record holder, yes, Taylor. In 2013, she co-wrote and co-produced the song Sweeter Than Fiction with Jack Antonoff for the One Chance movie soundtrack. Taylor actually sang that song too, but we all know she has famously written songs for plenty of other people. We see you, Neil Schoberg, on Calvin Harris's This Is What You Came For. But anyway, Sweeter Than Fiction ended up receiving a Best Original Song nomination at the 71st Golden Globe Awards. Taylor also recently earned her 3rd Golden Globe nomination for her song Beautiful Ghost from the movie Cats. And I don't know about you, but I feel like Taylor should have enough awards to be getting an EGOT one day. My fingers are crossed for that one. Alright, let's move on to Taylor's 25th year of life. At 25, she was named Billboard's Woman of the Year in 2014, making her the first artist to win the award twice. The first time she received the honor was back in 2011, but if we're being honest, she's my Woman of the Year every year. In 2014, Taylor also stood up for other artists and removed her entire catalog from Spotify. And while it was a sad moment for me personally because I loved listening to her on Spotify, she was arguing that its ad-supported free service undermined the premium service, which provided higher royalties for the songwriters. So I respect the message she was sending, and it's actually made a difference for artists, and thankfully she's back on Spotify now. Then came the era of 1989. Taylor officially shifted from country over to pop and never looked back. At 26 years old, she won 3 Grammy Awards for 1989. She won Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album, and Best Music Video for Bad Blood. And she became the first solo woman to win Album of the Year twice. Since then, Adele has won the award twice too. And with 1989 came a new New York City Taylor that I was and still am obsessed with, and I wasn't alone. In 2015, she was named Woman of the Year at the Elle Style Awards and was #1 on Maxim's Hot 100 list. So clearly Taylor was looking and feeling her best, and everyone saw it. But this was also around the time that Taylor was using her voice to speak out and help others. When she was 28, Taylor spoke out against sexual harassment and won her countersuit against former Colorado DJ David Mueller, whom she accused of groping her during a photo op. Taylor asked Mueller to pay her a symbolic $1, and she won, got that dollar, and was honored by Time magazine as one of the silence breakers for sharing her story. But 17 was also a big year for Taylor for a lot of other reasons too. She dropped the Look What You Made Me Do music video, which got over 43.2 million views during its first day on YouTube, breaking the site's record for the most viewed video in 24 hours at the time. And in case you're wondering, that video now has over 1.1 billion views. But I am still out here looking for Easter eggs in that video because Taylor herself has told us that there were a ton that we didn't find. So please let me know in the comments if there are any I might have missed. Moving on to 2018. In 2018, Taylor embarked on her record-breaking Reputation Stadium tour. The tour broke multiple venue attendance and gross earnings records, making $345.7 million worldwide. It officially became the highest-grossing tour in U.S. history. In 2018, she also left Big Machine Records for Universal Music/Republic Records so she could maintain ownership of her master recordings. She has since spoken out in detail about her relationship with Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun, but that's another conversation for another video. We're just here to talk about how she changed the game for so many other artists by stressing the importance of maintaining ownership of her own master recordings and not letting people take advantage of young artists. Which brings us to 2019, the year of Lover, the era we all needed and loved from Taylor. I feel like she is her most authentic self with this album, and it makes me so happy. This year, when Lover was released, all 18 of its songs entered the Billboard Hot 100. Yes, you heard that right. All 18 songs on her album were in the Hot 100, setting the record for the most simultaneous chart entries for a female artist. But this year also wasn't only about the music. Taylor has also used her voice to speak up about political issues that matter to her. In 2019, she published a letter addressed to Republican Senator Lamar Alexander urging him to support the Equality Act, and she created a petition on change.org urging the Senate to do the same. It currently has around 600,000 signatures. And with it being the end of a decade, Taylor has been recognized for her success she's had over the past 10 years. Last month, she received Artist of the Decade at the 2019 American Music Awards. But that wasn't all. At the same award show, she broke Michael Jackson's record of the most AMAs, who had 24, and Taylor now has 29, which I now see is fitting for her 29th year and our 29th clue. I love when things work out like that, don't you? And for our 30th clue on her 30th birthday, we'll just leave you with the fact that Taylor has sold over 50 million albums. And we just can't wait to see what she does in the next chapter of life. Here's to 50 million more. But I want to know what you guys think. Which of Taylor Swift's accomplishments is your favorite? Which of her albums do you listen to the most? And what accomplishment of hers do you love that maybe didn't make the list? Obviously, we couldn't put every single one of her accomplishments here. We had to pick our favorite 30. So let me know down in the comments below. After that, click the bell so you don't miss any of our news stories, and you can click right over here for more entertainment news. Thanks for hanging out with me here on Clevver. I'm Danny Golub. Have a great day.